friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sigrid and I make videos about books because I love them. Today I'm going to be doing a vlog where I read this series. This box set was gifted to me by one of my closest friends years ago, and she has said every time she comes into my book room, why have you not read these books? So I'm finally going to be reading them. This is the Sookie Stackhouse series, aka True Blood. I am a huge fan of the show. I binge watch it almost every year, and so I've never read the books that the series is based on, and so I'm going to get started right now. How many books are there? Let's see. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So this has 13 books in them. And I think the first book is Dead Until Dark. So the pink one here. So we're going to start with that and I guess work our way all the way here. I'm excited to see if there's a difference between the book series and the show. I feel as though I have a really good memory of everything that happened on the show. I'm not certain if I'm going to binge watch the show as I read the book. I don't know. If something comes up and I am just I need to fact check, then I'll binge the series. But for the time being, I'm going to get started and I will give you guys periodic updates on the books as I go along. But I'm excited. This is going to be really fun. Okay. Hi, friends. So I have started Dead Until Dark, which is book number 1. And I am loving it so far. It reminds me a lot of the show. And I'm comparing it to my memory of the show. And it's really pretty much spot on. I haven't really seen any difference so far, as much as I know. There is a slight difference. The fictional disease that the vampires could catch in the book is AIDS. It's a version of AIDS that vampires could catch. And I really do like that they changed it for the show. They changed it to, I believe it's called Hep V, which I think is a little bit more appropriate to create a fictional disease versus something that's actually real, because it's just not a good look to do that. It kind of just makes, yeah, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm glad that they switched it for the adaptation. They really did do their thing. And might I say, I haven't gotten that far into the book yet, but for this to be in the South, I really do like that there isn't homophobia. And I do know that that is very rampant in the South. And so I'm happy that this is something that isn't really an issue. I don't think it was an issue in this adaptation. So I'm waiting to see if it's going to come up. There's a scene with a male sex worker with the vampires, and he's just with all of them. And even Bill was about to interact, and that's how we discovered that Hep V was a thing. Well, in the book it's actually AIDS. It's some version of AIDS that vampires could catch. I don't think they can catch any other disease from humans. It's just that, and that will kill them. And it's the same in the TV version, but they just changed the name. I am 25% into the audiobook. I'm listening to it as I'm doing a little bit of work, and I'm really enjoying it. I would say that the writing style is just so fun. I can really see it in my head. It's very descriptive. The characters are holding up to the versions of them from the TV series in my head. So I'm really enjoying that. I can't wait to meet Lafayette and Tara, because those were my favorite characters from the actual TV show. But I do know that Tara at least was not introduced until a few episodes in. Maybe the second episode, so we haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm excited to get to that and see if there's any differences. Okay, so I'm gonna keep listening to it, and I will come back and let you guys know if there's any additional updates. Okay, hi friends. So I finished Dead Into Dark last night before bed, and I have thoughts. I started book 2 today, and I really want to talk about that first, so it's gonna be out of order. But tell me why she killed off a major character that is so pivotal to the series. There are so many epic scenes with this character, and they die in book 2. They never die in the TV show, by the way. It's one of my favorite characters. I cannot deal with this right now. Their corpse was just found, and I'm just what? This is interesting. This is very interesting. Yeah, like I need a moment for that. I need a moment for that. But I will say, book 2, I'm gonna give it a 4-star. I had so much fun reading it. It reminds me so much of the show. I feel like I'm watching the show in my head. I will say, though, because I've watched the show so many times, I know how each of the characters look, but I would have liked the opportunity to try to imagine them, but I don't know. I like that I'm able to see the characters. And listening to the audiobook, the way that she says Bill is so weird. Like, I don't even know if she says it in the book. They do have accents, like the narrators have like really thick Southern accents, like almost fake Southern accents. So it's like Bill, like instead of Bill. Like, I'm Southern. I'm from Alabama. Like, you can't get more Southern than that. And I don't talk like that. So so she's like, Bill. Yeah, I'm from Shreveport. I'm just a waitress. It's so funny. Like, that was one of the reasons why I gravitated towards True Blood, is because it's very the Southern roots. Like, I remember, like, I was away from home and it just kind of reminded me of home, even though the accents are very stressed and forced. Yeah, so my thoughts is that I'm really enjoying the book. I don't think book 1 gravitated too much away from the adaptation. However, a lot of stuff happened in book 1 to the point where I feel as though it would be several episodes in book 1. Almost maybe the whole season 1 would be in book 1. I remember watching the show and it felt like forever before Bill and Sookie got together, and that happened in book 1. I was kind of expecting it to happen in maybe book 3, since it's like 8 books in the series. Yeah, so a lot of stuff, like the serial killer being caught, the grandma thing happening, all of that stuff happened in book 1. So now I'm thinking, like, what is going to happen in book 2? I don't even remember. So I'm just excited. It's so fun. I feel like I'm watching the TV show in my head, and I am having an amazing time. I hate that I put off this series for so long. Okay, so I'm going to continue listening, and I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm headed in now, but I'm going to continue to listen. I'm going to give you guys an update as soon as I have something else to say. But until then, I'll see you. Okay, hi friends. So I'm still reading book 2, Living Dead in Vegas. Wait, Living Dead in Dallas. And I have thoughts. There's a huge difference. You guys remember earlier I said that I had 2 favorite characters. One of them was killed off. The second one, they changed the character so much, I don't even think that this character is a person of color anymore. We're working backwards because the adaptation, I'm assuming they kind of made it a little bit more diverse. There are black people in here, but like, let me just say it, because I feel like True Blood has been out for so long that I just feel like so many people have watched it. Tara was supposed to be Sookie's best friend, like the right-hand person. I think she appears in episode 2, not 1, because I remember it, and I remember instantly like just falling in love with Tara's character, just loving her. She had this like sassy little mouth, and she just didn't take anything from anyone. I loved it. And she ended up having this crush on Jason in the adaptation. Now, there is like another season. I want to say it's like season 4. It's definitely not season 1. But she ends up meeting this guy named Eggs, and in the adaptation, she ends up meeting Eggs, and Eggs is like, he knows like this woman, and she is some type of creature that causes like orgies. Like, I don't remember what she was, or if she is the same thing as in the book, but like, she just did it, you know? And in the book, it's a slightly different, because they're investigating someone's murder because they attended one of these parties, and Sookie has to go to one of these like sex parties, and she's going with Eric the vampire, and Tara's there, but there's no background of them being best friends forever. Like, I missed that I wanted in the book series, so that's crazy that it's not there. I love that part. Yeah, but Eggs is a character in the TV show as well, but I think he's a black man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Eggs was a black character as well. And I just remember this because it was one of my favorite seasons. I don't want to talk about it, but it was really, True Blood really did take it there. It was interesting, but I'm excited. I'm still having a really great time. Tomorrow I'm actually taking like a road trip to South Carolina. I'm going to this book event. I might be making a vlog for YouTube to kind of like document it, because it's a 7-hour road trip and I'm driving by myself. I'm terrified, but and I've never been to South Carolina, so this is going to be really fun. Yeah, so I actually plan on listening to the audiobooks. I'm hoping to get through like maybe another couple of books on my way there and maybe another couple on the way back. Yeah, I'm only going to be there for 2 days, coming back like the next day during the evening. So, yeah, I think I should be done with this series pretty soon, honestly. So far, really enjoying it. It's really... I would say that it's really kind of like easy to read. Like, I feel like this is like one of those like popcorn. It's not a thriller, but it's like very much popcorn, where it's like there's so much happening and it's like juicy. It's very like short, to the point. Something is happening at all times. This is addicting. I will definitely finish this before I go to sleep. I also have a few other things to do before I leave tomorrow. So I'm going to probably switch over to the audiobook as I like get ready and do little things. But yeah, I will let you guys know what I end up rating it later on. And I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, you guys, so I am in one of the Carolinas. I have about 3 hours left in my drive. It was actually a little bit over 7 hours, to be honest. The gas here is very cheap. It was only $2.99 a gallon, so it did not take me much to fill up my car. I'm so happy with that. But anyways, I finished book 3 just a few minutes ago, and then I started listening to music. I wanted to give you guys an update. So Tara, the character for Tara, has been completely like revamped for TV, because Tara is described as having olive skin, and she's also not Lafayette's cousin, I want to say. So that's a difference. But her and Sookie were like friends in high school or something, like, or school. They were friends in school. So that was kind of revealed in this book. This one was interesting. I would probably give it a 3.5 instead of my usual 4. Book 1 and book 2 were 4 stars. I thought they were very interesting, very fun to read. This one was a little bit, just a tad bit less fun. And so I'm going to give it a 3.5. We're going to move on to book 4. I don't have much else to say about this one other than like we went on another adventure, and I have just come to the conclusion that these are like little mysteries, because at some point in each of the books, there's always something you have to solve. And by the end of the book, it's resolved. It's kind of reminded me a little bit of Nancy Drew, and I'm loving it. But I have to get going now. 3 more hours and I will be at the hotel. Yeah, so I will keep you guys updated, but let's go ahead and start on book 4. Okay, so hi friends. So I have made it home. I'm currently on book 5 of the Sookie Stackhouse series, and I have thoughts. I finally know how to categorize this book series. It's a mystery. These are paranormal mysteries. Sorry, I lost my voice. I don't know what happened between now and whatever, but I lost my voice. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. These are the books that I have read so far. I don't even know. We have Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail. I don't think I read this one. Dead into Dark. No, I haven't read this one. Oh, wait. Oh, girl, this is book 1. Dead into Dark and Living Dead in Dallas. Now, yeah, so I'm currently on, I think it's Dead as a Doornail. I'm almost certain. So, what I've learned so far by reading all 5 of these are mysteries. These are vampire / paranormal mysteries. They kind of remind me of a little bit of Nancy Drew, but with a little spice. it's not enough to be worried about. It's not very graphic. There is just very light spice in my opinion, but like I've read darker books, so I just feel like it's light. I feel like anybody would be able to read this and be okay. I don't think it's intense or anything like that. It's not crazy at all. But in each of the book, there's always some mystery that will wrap up in that book. These are virtually, you could pretty much read them as a standalone because there's not going to be a mystery. So far, of the 5 books that I've read, there's not going to be a mystery that goes from one book that you have to read the next book to figure out what happened. It will all be wrapped up in one book, almost like they're like different episodes of a thing, you know? And like, you should read them in order because when you get to the next book, she might mention something that happened in a previous book and be like, oh, this happened. So you would be spoiled. My cat's running around. You would be spoiled if you read them out of order. But it's kind of like Nancy Drew in that each book has its own mystery that will be solved in that book, and she might mention other mysteries that she's done in the past. So that's why you should read them in order. But it's so fun. It's so fun. I actually really recommend this series. Even though I'm like halfway through, I recommend it because even if you watch the TV show, you are still not going to be knowing too much. Like, you're not going to be spoiled. You're not going to already know what happened because there's a lot of stuff in the book series that doesn't happen in the TV show. For example, Jason is just completely human in the TV show. I won't say what he is in the book or what happened, but certain things like life-changing events and things can happen in a book series that just doesn't roll over into the adaptation. Certain characters are different. I just think it's really cool. Yeah, so it's kind of like I get to see a second life of the TV show and see how that is. I'm having so much fun, y'all. I'm having so much fun. I would say I like it. I will say I would keep in mind, if you do plan on reading the series, that it was written in like the early 2000s, like 2003, I think. So keep that in mind because I don't think anything is problematic, but maybe some of the language that they use or some of the, yeah. But I think for a book written during this time, it's actually holding up pretty well. Like, it's not, I haven't read anything that made me feel uncomfortable so far. But I will say, obviously, if you're reading the books, you're probably going to put it together that, like, vampires in this book is treated kind of like how Black people are treated in real life, or how Black people used to be treated, like the offensiveness, the unacceptedness, all of that stuff. Because technically a vampire in this universe is considered a race. A werewolf in this universe is considered a race. So although they have Black people, it's kind of like very similar to like real life when it comes to being a Black person. And how it's like certain things are acceptable, like you can exist, but as soon as you start trying to have rights and date people and stuff, then it's like, you know, you're a vampire, right? Like, you know. But that's it. Like, I would say just maybe be careful with that because there are some similarities. If you draw too closely, it could just kind of, you know, put you in a bad mood. Yeah, like I said, I'm having so much fun. Highly recommending it so far. I'm excited to see if this ends differently than the TV show. If I remember correctly, she does end up with one person, but it's not who you think it's going to be. But now I've forgotten who she ends up with. Oh, I'm talking about the main character, Sookie. She has multiple suitors in the book, so you really don't know. But I was thinking that it was one, but I remember watching the show and being shocked as to who she picked. But I don't remember who she picked anymore. I could probably just Google it. I do not have to watch the show again. Okay, so I'm on book 5. I'm finishing it up now. I'm going to finish that tonight. And then tomorrow, hopefully start on book 6. And we're going to keep this going until we're done. Like, I'm going to read this whole series in October, you guys. I'm just so fun. I love it so far. Hi, friends. Okay, so it is Saturday, and I am about to go and vote today. Early voting has started in the state of Maryland, and so I can go and vote a little bit earlier, but I just want to inform and encourage everyone to go and cast your vote. I know a lot of people are saying like, it doesn't matter, like my little vote doesn't count. It actually does make a difference, and people have fought so hard. When you think about back in the day, people fought so hard to have this right. So why would you sit at home? Why would you not, you know? This was important to them and it should be important to you. We have to go and cast our voice. Our voices need to be heard. Okay, so let's get into an update on the Sookie Stackhouse series. I don't know where I stopped at, but I'm currently reading book 7. I want to talk about book 6. Now, book 6, I ended up rating 3 stars. It was just her least fun adventure. I just was not moved. Like, I could put it down and I had no desire to pick it back up. I just finished it because I wanted to get on with the story, and I feel like book 7, I'm like maybe halfway through there. I feel like it's leading towards that way as well. I feel like once Eric and Bill, like if they're not in the story as much, or she's not like pursuing them, it kind of gets a little boring. We're leaning more towards the werewolves people, and I don't know, I don't find them as interesting, but we'll see how it goes. We have discovered that Sookie is part something. This is kind of similar to this TV series. I remember her being part something and it being a little bit more serious than how it's reflected in the book. It's just kind of like counting her off. It's like she's human with a little bit of this, and that's why people find her so attractive or whatever, but it doesn't explain the fact that she can read minds. So I don't know, it does nothing. I don't like that they made Jason into what he is. Like, Jason was just human in the TV show, and now he's getting married in book 7, which is so unlike Jason. Jason was a player to the very end. Okay, he was a lover, and that was it. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep reading it. It is like getting a little boring. The author made the choice to include Katrina as though like current events actually happen in this book, and I don't know if I like that choice. I feel as though if I was reading that series and I was affected by the storm, I wouldn't want to hear about it. Like, I would be trying to escape the storm and don't want to hear about it. And then you pick up your book and Katrina is in there. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It was a choice, and I could see it going either way. It's not something that bothered me as much because I don't think my family was affected by Katrina, but it was so long ago that I don't recall. I think I was a lot younger then. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to listen to it as I go to my polling place, and I will let you guys know. I did hear someone say that they don't think it's going to be open on Saturday, but I did check the website and they said that they're going to be open on Saturday. So fingers crossed I'm able to vote today. I just don't want to have to go on election day. I feel like it's going to be do or die, and if the line is really long, I'm just going to be like, ugh. Yeah, so I want to just make sure that I can, like, it's a Saturday, I have nothing else to do. Yes, so I want to make sure that my little vote is put in there. All right, so I will see you guys in just a second. Hey friends, we are back and we have cast our vote. Yes, I am so happy I finally did it. I'm actually very excited for this to be over because I'm tired of people talking about it, and I'm tired of getting the text messages. Please stop texting my phone. Yeah, I think I did the right thing. I think I make the right choices. I was very informed, so make sure that you are informed. Yeah, know what's going on in your city, your state, whatever. But yeah, that's it. I'm probably gonna head and get some food, but I'm gonna continue to listen to the audiobook as I go. But yeah, that's it for today. I will come back once I finish the book and let you guys know what I think. Okay, hi friends. So we have finished reading book 9 in the series. I don't know what my last update was. It could have been 7 or 8, but I do want to go over, so I'm going to start from 7 just in case. So my review, I'm looking on Goodreads now. My review of book 6 was 3 stars. My review of book 7 was 4 stars. My review of book 8 was 4 stars. And my review of book 9, which I just finished reading, was 5 freaking stars. I thought that the level of like anticipation, the level of suspense in this book was just top tier. I think it was a lot better than the previous books. I feel like they were kind of more filler books where it's like some things are happening, but nothing so pivotal that I'm just like, I'm blown away. I did like the previous book because we got to see like a little bit more of the werewolves and how their ceremony is done if someone breaks their vow, and I really did love that. I will say the thing that I am most shocked about in this book is Arlene, the character Arlene. She was just so sweet in the show. So the stuff that she did in book 9, I'm really shocked. I hope she goes to jail. I hope that she doesn't get out. I don't care if she has kids. It's like she should have thought of those children when she was doing the thing that she did. Yeah, this one was really fun. So the next book is, let's see. The next book is Dead in the Family. And after that, I will have to read the Sookie Stackhouse Companion, which I have on Libby. I'm reading these on Hoopla, so if you guys have Hoopla, the audiobooks are like pretty much all there, at least for my library. And then they're also on Libby, but some of them have holes, and I didn't want to have to like wait. But yeah, I'm having so much fun. I'm still having so much fun reading this. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, I'm doing my nails. Oh, I will say, previously I said that there was like this plot twist on the show that I was kind of waiting for when it comes to Sookie and what she is, because throughout the book she's been referred to as human. And I specifically remember there's like an episode of her going after her grandfather or something like this. There's an episode dealing with her great-grandfather in the show and what they are. So I was really shocked to see that she was like just human. In book 9, and then also the previous books, it kind of leads up to, I would say, this conclusion of like what happens with these set of supernatural creatures. I like them. I really love Claudia, I think it's her name. I really love her and how she just kind of pops up whenever there's like danger afoot. I really like that. I hope she's not gonna go away. Can't really go into too many details about like why she's gonna go away, but like I really hope that everything is good with her, and I want to see her again. I just really like her. Yeah, I'm really hoping that there's more creatures, or at least we get to see more creatures coming up in the next few books. We have, I think, 14 books in the series. I'm really hoping that there's more creatures. We have more time and we have more books. We can go over it. But so far, I think we've touched on fairies, vampires, werewolves, and witches. And then there's some variation of fairies, such as like goblins or gnomes, I think, and angels. But I really hope that there's more. But yeah, I will keep you guys posted. I'm gonna listen to the next book and as I like work. But yeah, that's pretty much my update. Okay, hi friends. So I am driving home. Don't come out here, lady. I am driving home, and you guys, today is the day after the election. Tensions are high. Emotions are insane right now, and it's a very depressing day. To be quite honest, for me, it's very depressing. So just to get a little bit of escapism, I wanted to just escape and not think about anything. So I decided to listen to book 11. I'm on book 11, and I decided to listen to it. It's called Dead Reckoning. Tell me why one of these characters said Negroes, y'all. But I think for a book written during this time, it's actually holding up pretty well. Like, it's not, I haven't read anything that made me feel uncomfortable. I will give you guys another update once I have made it through this book. Yeah, but I'll see you guys in a second. Hi friends, it is Thursday, and I have finished reading book 11. And I have thoughts. Of course I have thoughts. I did not rate this book the way that I rated it just because of the use of Negroes in the story. However, I do feel as though that was a factor, but it's not the only factor. So I decided to rate this one 2 stars. Normally, I think the lowest I've given a book is probably 3 stars if it was like really boring. But I did take an additional star for the use of that word. I just felt like it was so unnecessary. It didn't fit the time period of where the events are taking place. Like I would see if they were going back in time or something. It didn't fit the time period at all for like 2000s, and it didn't fit the time period of when it was written either. So to me, it was just an unnecessary use of the word, and I feel as though we have to be very careful with the words that we use in our books. And because of that, I did take off of that, and I will be writing a written review to say that. But majority of the reason why I decided to do 2 stars as well is because I feel as though this book has reached the end. I don't think that there's any more adventures that Sookie can go on that would make it meaningful. I think we have went over every like major plot from the TV series, and right now we're just milking it. Right now these are money grab books. There's not really much else that's happening. We'll have like little small things to do it, but it's kind of boring at this point. There's nothing really new. It's just kind of like there's this one character that like pretty much intimidated Sookie for like 3 books so far, and now we finally got her comeuppance. But yeah, for me, this one was probably my least favorite book. It was kind of boring. There's not really much happening. Yeah, nothing else to report. We're almost done. We have just like a couple more books left. I think there's 14 books in the series. Not too many left. And I'm happy. I'm not going to say that I'm burnt out from the book, but I feel as though there's not really much else you can do with the story. Like, we're done. I'm waiting for the happily ever after and what happens to it, like which person that she ends up with. I personally am team Eric. I like Eric. I like him better than Bill. Bill was just, so there's 2 different types of people that want love in this world. Do you want someone who is going to burn down the world for you because you're harmed? Or do you want someone who is going to do everything in his power, with the exception of like breaking the rules? I want a guy that's willing to break the rules for me. I want someone who is willing to cause hell for me. And I think that means that I want a bad boy. Not in real life, but like when it comes to like fictional characters, that's the one that I'm more gravitated to. That's the one that I want her to have. I don't want the safer option. I want the villain. And I don't think that everybody loves that. So I think that's why we have like these fandoms for like 2 different guys, because there's like the safe choice, and then there's always the bad boy that think outside of the box. And I have always just aired on the side of like the bad boy. But I don't know, if you guys watch the show, which one are you? Are you team Eric or are you team Bill? Because I have always been team Eric, even though her meeting him after Bill was a little weird. But there's also other options as well. Like there's some of the werewolves that she's been with in the past too. I have no idea who she's going to end up with. And then there's Sam, her boss. I personally am not team Sam. I just find it icky that he's her boss and he has like a crush on her. I don't like it. I don't think she should pick him at all. Like, and he's older too. Like, I know the vampires are older too, but like, I feel like once they die, their age stops. So even though they're like thousands of years old, they're not older than her. I don't know. To me, it makes sense. But yeah, I'm not team Sam at all. But okay, so I'm going to listen to the next book in the series. I think that will be book 12. I don't know the name just yet, but I'm going to listen to it and I'll give you guys updates either when I'm finished reading or if something interesting happens and I have to tell you guys about it. But for now, yeah, that's where we are. Hi friends, so I just officially I technically finished the series. I just finished book 13, which is the last book in the series, but there is another one that's like a novella that's like optional that tells you where everyone ends up. I definitely want to know who Sookie ends up with. Right now she's dating someone that she did not date on the show, and so I don't know if she's going to end up with him or if she's going to end up with someone else, but that would be interesting. Jason did get married to someone. There are a few characters that are on the TV show that just never made an appearance. For example, Jessica. Jessica was like one of my favorite characters. She ended up dating Hoyt, and Hoyt ended up dating and I think marrying someone completely different. Jessica never existed. She was like the child of Bill. And yeah, she doesn't exist in this book. That's really sad because I like Jessica. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is listen to the very last thing and give you guys an update. I believe the audiobook is like 40 minutes and it is available at my library. So I'm going to go ahead, download it now, listen to it, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts on this series. I completely forgot to tell you guys my rating. I ended up rating this one 4 stars. I think it was really interesting. There was like a conclusion of everything. We finally find out who is the overarching like bad guy, and it was exactly who I expected. But yeah, and everything kind of concluded, so everything happened. Okay, hi friends. So it's been a few minutes. It took me about 22 minutes to listen to the audiobook of the I think it's called After Death book. It was only like 44 minutes total, and I listened on 2 times speed. So basically, this is just like an anthology. It just names the each of the different characters that we've ever met in the entire series and where they ended up. Some people died. I know I was heartbroken when one of my favorite characters, they mentioned that they died. I was not a fan of who Sookie ends up with. In fact, if I had to like rate all of the different guys that she was with, he would have been very low on the list. I'm really upset. I'm happy for Eric. I do like that. I'm really happy for Bill, even. Like just their futures and how that worked out. I think she might have mentioned like spin-offs of different characters, such as Hunter. Hunter is Sookie's like nephew, I believe, and he also has like the ability to read minds. But yeah, I have no interest in reading any other series. This was just too long. So let's get into my thoughts on this entire series. I would say about from books 1 through 7, books 1 through 8 maybe, I was excited. I was recommending this. I would have recommended this so much. It's a really fun time, really good time. But after those like section of books, it starts to get a little boring, repetitive. Sometimes there's like filler books where it's just like nothing's really happening. I don't really care about these characters that you're mentioning. When we get to the werewolves, I feel like those are my least favorite, like, or least interesting characters. I really like the vampires and learning about them, but sometimes we have books that's like it takes place with and around, and it's all about the werewolves. I enjoyed it, but I just don't feel like it was enough for me to be able to say, you guys got to go out and get this series. It took me forever to read them. This at least took like several weeks of me reading, and that I really haven't read that many other books. Yeah, so do I recommend the series? I mean, if you are a hardcore True Blood fan, then maybe, yeah, knock yourself out, because it is different from the show, so you'll get a different experience. I will say, though, if it comes down to me choosing between the book or the TV show, I love the TV show. It was so much better, in my opinion. So much freaking better. The characters were better. They made it a little bit more, I would say, diverse. So, like, her book series is diverse for sure, but, like, there's more, even more kind of expanding on that. There's some characters that I love from the TV show that were not in the book, so obviously I'm going to be pro TV show. And then some people were in the TV show for like the entire TV show, and then they died in the book. So not a fan of that at all. Hi friends. So tell me why I could not for the life of me remembered who Sookie ended up with from the show. So I went back and Googled it, and I think I might be living in a Mandela effect, because I was so certain. You know, I'm just going to say it because it's not true. I'll tell you who she ends up with, because I'm not going to tell you who she ends up with, but I will tell you who she did not end up with. And that is Bill. Y'all, this entire time, for years, I have watched this show at least 3 times, all the way to the ending. And I always thought that she ended up with Bill. And this is because the person that she was with in the end scene had black hair. You mean to tell me this entire time I just assumed it was Bill because he had black hair? They never show his face, by the way. Oh my goodness. It is completely different than who she ends up with in the book, because who she ends up with in the book, we know. It's a character that we know. It's one of the people that I've mentioned. I've said his name in this thing. I'm just so in shock, because I'm just like, I feel as though this is a Mandela effect. I could have sworn to you I saw the same scene, but it was with Bill. This is insane. This is insane. I refuse. I refuse. Oh my God. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.